Welcome to the Loud Albanian Podcast, Season 1, Episode 1. God has been so good. This desire for connection and community and communication, all the good things, has been in my heart for a long time. I think since I was a really young kid, honestly. I've always had this really big desire to talk to people and to be with people. And for those of you who don't know me, I am from Albania. I'm from this little teeny tiny country in southeastern Europe. It's beautiful. It's my home. I'm really proud to be from that country. I think there's a reason why I am the way that I am, and we're going to get into that today. I'm going to give you a little bit of a spiel about, not a spiel, about, I'm going to give you a little bit of history on Albania and why I am the way that I am. But in Albania, we call this sulfur. Sulfur is like this traditional, really low table seating area, very different from like the high top tables and the normal dining tables that we have. People in Albania used to sit like on the floor around the sofra, the really low dining table, and they used to talk about things. They used to laugh out loud. They used to tell stories. Like, storytelling is such a big thing in Albania. And I guess there's a reason why the podcast is also launching on April 25th. It's a very special date that kind of stops time for me during the year, which normally goes really quick for me. And it's because it's my dad's birthday. And he was many, 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 many things, but he was an amazing storyteller, and he did it with such passion, and he did it with such joy all the time. And man, yeah, I wish to be like that. Like, I aspire to be a good storyteller. Not just because I enjoy it, but because I think there's so much value in creating that moment. I think my best memories, I think my most cherished times are times with people telling, sharing, and even when it was uncomfortable, even when it was sad or a little challenging, I think it's important, and I think we don't do it enough. And that's what I want this podcast to be. I want this podcast to be all of us together sitting and talking about things and allowing each other to be true and honest and kind of direct, which is, I am all those things. I think the reason why it came so natural for me to call the podcast the Loud Albanian was because I am loud and I'm kind of in your face a little bit. But I think God makes us all different. Okay, so funny story. This little microphone, it died out of nowhere. Also, double chins are real, not a myth. So we changed the angle here. Don't get upset. Okay. Also, God bless some people with good memory and good attention span. I am not one of those girlies, so notebook it is. And this is for you, so you can get all the answers right when you meet your Albanian friend, when God blesses you with an Albanian girlfriend. Hey, if Drake can do it, so can you. I mean, he dedicated a whole song to the woman with the bomber jackets with the eagle and stuff. It's pretty good. Now, I know it was a diss song or whatever, polar opposites, but still, we're going to focus on the good here. So, yeah, pay attention. Okay, so a little bit of history and background. Albania is a small, tiny country, but that holds much value. In the southeastern region of Europe. It's, if you're familiar with the state of Maryland in America, it's a little smaller than the state of Maryland. It comes from the Illyrian tribe of Albani. And if you're not familiar with the Bible, if you are familiar with the Bible, it is mentioned in the Bible in Acts, where also Lydia is mentioned. But we're going to talk about that another day. After being for 500 years under the Ottoman Empire, in 1912, we finally got our independence. Woohoo! And then for the majority of World War II, we were under the Italians and the Germans. They kind of played around because Albania has a lot of oil and a lot of natural resources, and it has a great place in the region of Europe. So everybody wants a little bit of sliver, a little bit of slice. And then after World War II, that's when it really happened. We became a Stalinist state, a communist state. Things went not good for Albanians. We were one of the first isolated countries, fully isolated countries in the world, and the first ever atheist country in the world, which is not good. The people of Albania did not have God for a very long time. Okay. Yes, the language in Albania is Albanian. It's so unique. It's very unique. If you have Albanian people in your life and you've kind of heard the language, it doesn't sound like anything, and that's a good thing. But yeah, it doesn't sound like Slavic. It's not a romantic language. It's not Germanic. It's not an Arabic language either. It's literally like nothing else you've ever heard. And in the tree of languages, it kind of has like its own little branch. Lek is the national currency. Has a lot of zeros. So like if you go to Albania and someone tells you, hey, I'm going to give you 1,000 lek, that's not a lot. That's like less than $10. I mean, you can buy a lot with a lot, but like you can, you can get a fair share. You can buy a few veggies, a little bit of bread. You could buy bok. Oh, I miss Albanian food. Yeah, that's a little bit of a history. Now, there's a ton of fun facts about Albania, and Google and Reddit has the funniest little facts. Not all of them are true, but a lot of it is true because a lot of tourists are finally going to Albania and finally figuring it out how cool it is there. Um, and these people are going online and kind of like updating um, the what is it? The biography of Albania. Um, and not all of it is true, but a lot of it is true. And I actually found a few fun facts myself that I was not aware of. Okay. I'm going to start with the ones that you should know if you plan on, you know, bonding to some capacity with an Albanian person in your life that you meet. Or maybe you want to visit Albania, which is a great way to start your traveling journey around Europe. 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay. Religion was banned, as we spoke, from 1941 to 1992. That is a lot of years. It's very funny though because Albania, well, it's not funny, but even though Albania is mainly Muslim, the religions in Albania are very historically intertwined, and there's a lot of peace. Even though there's Greek Orthodox, there's Christian, there's Protestant, there's Muslim, there are certain sects, um, like little branches of religions. Um, I'm sure there's a little bit of atheism and other, maybe a little bit of paganism here and there, but the idea is that the people of Albania get very well along despite their religious views. More Albanians live outside of Albania than inside of Albania. Yeah, that's kind of true. There are over 700 there are over 750,000 bunkers scattered around Albania that were built. Albanians love Mercedes-Benz. Like, we are bougie. We will not build the roof of our house, but we will buy a Mercedes-Benz because a girl gotta drive the right car, okay? We do it right. This is very funny because I have never said this to an American friend of mine before, and I would have not said it on the podcast if I hadn't gone like researching. But there's something that we do for fun in Albania, like leisurely, especially during like spring and summer, but also in the winter. Like, it's an ongoing activity, and it's called Giro. And Giro is a fancy walk around the city. It's like this ongoing walk around what you would call the plaza of the city. Like, we call it piazza because we take that word after like the Italian word for like Piazza di Roma, whatever, which means like the center of the city. And it started years ago. Like, my father used to tell me that it was the way that you showed honor and like caught up basically with other people that you knew in the city, by just walking. And you just don't, it's not like you walk down the street and you come back, or like you take like a big walk around the city. We're talking about, I'm not good with metrics in general, and I'm confused now in both metrics because I don't remember the old metrics and I'm not familiar with the new metrics. So I can't really tell you how long this piazza would be, but it would basically, it's like a long, I don't know. It's like a few kilometers. No? I don't know. Um but it's like a walk that you do. It's like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So my father used to tell me that people would say hi and bye to each other as they're going. Like they would see each other. And it's a way that you meet your friends. It's a way that you can catch up with people. Like you can socialize. Maybe you can save money and not like go to a restaurant or a bar, even though literally a non-beating coffee is like $50. Well, not anymore, but you know what I mean. Also, open container policy is not a thing in Albania, which I very much miss. You can literally take a beer with you down the street and it's totally fine. Like, it's not a big deal, guys. Um, yes. And Giro is very, very fun. A true Albanian will take you for a Giro. We love it. Um, there's something called Code of Besa. Besa is the promise, or the you are giving someone your word. Like I give you my word. Like I give you my word, and there's nothing that can break this word. So if I tell you you're safe, if I tell you, hey, I got you covered, like, hey, you call me when you need something, because I've given you my besa, because I've given you my promise, there's no going back to that. Like we are bonded for life. Like I owe you. Um it's a very old tradition. You keep the promise. It's a code of honor to look after those who need help. Like it's a done deal. This is my favorite, and I'm going to say this for all my friends and all my coworkers and all the people that know me. I truly get my espresso sometimes. I make it at home in my little espresso machine, and I take it with me in like my filjan, which literally means like an espresso cup, and I take it with me with like the plate and everything, and I will show you my espresso. Like I bring it with me to work, and people sometimes are like, "Oh, your little cup, like it's so cute," and I'm like, "No, don't make it cute. It's like I'm honoring my coffee, okay? Like it's non-negotiable." Albania is the country with the highest cafe number quantity per capita, I believe, in the world, okay? We want our coffee. We know our coffee. We need our coffee. And this coffee can be in any type of way you want it. It could be a Turkish coffee. It could be an espresso black. It could be a macchiato with a little bit of my Albanian people will love me for saying this, but I love my macchiato me qumshtoft, which means literally macchiato with some cold whole milk on the side. And there is a cafe near my house that sees me order that coffee every Thursday, because that's how we do it, babes. You can take the girl out of the city, but you cannot take the city out of the girl. Okay. We talked about our beautiful language. We call it ship. We don't call it Albanian. The language is called Juhashipe. or ship. We have siestas, guys. Siesta. We have not only the Spaniards, we have our siestas, okay? In my hometown, in Shkodër, we close our doors, like the stores, the president, no, I'm joking. Like, most of goody, like most of grocery shops and like, I mean, now we have like more like chain grocery shops, but back when I was growing up, we had like little local stores. Your jeweler, your shoemaker, your like all the little um what we call zanat, which means trade. Albania used to be Albania's economy flourished, or most jobs were trade jobs. Their little stores would close. Your photographer, everyone. After 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., like you best believe that I'm taking my nap. Like everybody's taking their nap. You go home, you eat lunch with your family. Maybe somebody downs reki a little bit. Like just a little. And then you go to sleep. You go to sleep, you take a little nap, and then you wake up, and then you're all ready to go. The day starts again. I believe it's very common in Germany too, in some areas, but it's not like it's a tradition, guys. You'll respect it. Um. Oh, we have so many mountains. I mean, God bless Albania. We have so many mountains. They are beautiful. They're all around the country. Um, we have a lot of hills too, but there's a lot of like high terrain, and it makes everything look beautiful. It gives Albania like the views that it has, because I mean, the Balkan is a peninsula, so we have a lot of water, but we also have a lot of mountains, which make tourism, which makes everyone like so amazed the with the views, and it creates beautiful climate too. You kind of get like a good mix of both. And then in the north, you have like the most beautiful, most beautiful sites in Tropoja, in Kosovo. Like in the north, you really, I mean, Thethi, Valbona. Anyone that has gone to Albania that is watching this podcast knows exactly what I'm talking about. Slay. We love chess. I did not know this. I mean, I grew up learning chess in my household. I actually took part of a chess competition when I was very young. I think I was in 6th grade or 5th grade. And no, I was in 3rd grade, and I came back with the 6th place in Shkodër, in my hometown. So it's not a big deal, but it's a little bit. Your girl is talented. Yeah, Albania apparently made the debut of the 1972 Olympic Summer Games in Munich. I mean, we didn't go back for a while, but this is beautiful. And I don't think a lot of people know, but Albania is the birthplace of Mother Teresa. And our airport in Tirana, in Rinas, the airport that I fly to and fly out of every time, is named after Mother Teresa. Now, if you don't know who Mother Teresa is, you've got some work to do. Guys, I don't know why this was such... I literally found this in every website that I searched about Albania. in every little nook and cranny. Even the people on Reddit were unhappy about it and complained. But I think you should know. I think we should set this expectation that there is no McDonald's in Albania. None. Zero. Okay. We have something called chebab, though. Chebab is this little, small. Actually, look it up. It's called. It's simply the best meat you'll ever eat in your life. It's. People call it sausage, but it's not sausage. It's just very unique and it's amazing. And if you go to Albania, you need to try Buk e Chebab. And that's all. I mean, if you have that, you've had enough. You can leave in peace. I think everybody loves her, and I think we all applaud her, and we all are so proud of her. And I mean, she truly has kind of changed the landscape and the name of Albania. But her name is Dua Lipa, and she is from Kosovo. And she is our Albanian queen. I mean, she does the eagle and all in the pictures and in the videos, and she's a proud Albanian. Okay, let's talk about the food. Okay, the food, guys, is amazing. I mean, truly the bread, the cheese, the quality of the veggies, the meat, I don't know, like everything tastes better in Albania, to be honest. And this is very funny, but I remember my grandfather talking about comparing, right, the quality of the veggies, of just the produce, while he was growing up compared to when I was growing up. And he would say these exact words. He would say, oh, you have no idea what they're using in this produce, these pesticides. Do you know what we would do? And I'd be like, yes, Grandpa. We would literally cut a cucumber in half and the whole house would smell. Like, he made it sound like it was aromatherapy. Like, and our house was long, okay? And the kitchen and the living room were kind of like in the middle of it all. And I'm trying as a kid to picture and to imagine this my grandmother cutting a cucumber in half, and like, you know, in the movies or in the cartoons when there's a smell coming from the kitchen and they make it like a different color so that you can, similar to like bad smells to like farts or something, and it kind of like takes the whole, like, that's how I would picture it. Man, the power of storytelling, right? Especially when you're a kid. But I truly took that with me because I realized, okay, I used to laugh at this, but when I came to America and I cut a cucumber in half, baby, did not smell like anything, okay? It smelled like water. It smelled like nothing, okay? And the tomatoes, they truly taste very, they don't taste like anything like the tomatoes in Albania. And the eggs, and I mean I grew up with the farmer's market right at my doorstep, guys. We are talking about waking up, okay, and going with your mother to the market, and the market is truly, quite literally, right at the doorstep of your house. Like, you step out, and there you go. There's all the species and the kinds of produce that you would never dream of finding in Whole Foods, okay? We are talking about top notch dairy products, like fresh produce, everything. And I quite vividly remember this lady selling her a kilo of tomatoes, okay? Talking about a kilo of tomatoes being sold for 30 cents, okay? And it's very common in Albania to bargain for 10 cents, okay? Like you're kind of like there back and forth, bargaining for 10 cents cheaper, fighting with another farmer to get your tomatoes 10 cents cheaper. And this was just normal life. I mean, if your mother told you to go and buy a kilo of tomatoes and parsley and olives and tortilla. Tortilla is literally pickles, okay? We live and die by pickles. And she gave you 50 cents, okay? And you did not come back with two different kinds of veggies because that's what that money could get you for. But you came back with one. It meant that you did not fight enough for that, for your lunch, guys. You did not use your money properly. You were not a good salesman. And maybe that's why I have amazing sales skills and conflict resolution nowadays. So count your blessings, because what the enemy meant for evil, God uses for good. Amen. What else do we have here? We have Raki. Raki is a traditional type of alcohol that we make out of grape, but it could be made by with a lot of fruits. And there is actually in Tirana, there's a really good bar, I forget the name of it, but there's a bar where you go and you as a tourist get to taste like 20 to 30 different type of rakis that are made by grapes. Kumbula, which are plums. Like there is a ton of different rakis, and truly the first time that I tried different kinds of it, since my family made both wine and raki when we were young, it's a really fascinating process, and the way that it changes flavor is actually phenomenal, even though that strong, powerful like flavor still comes through. We use it actually to cleanse too. You could truly cleanse your sinuses. I mean, Raki can play a lot of roles, okay? I mean, Raki is you fall down, you put Raki on it. You need to wake up because you have a long drive. You rub some Raki on your hands and you're good to go. Could be a lot of reasons why you need your Raki. So you always want to have some Raki handy. Guys, I think this is the closest thing we might have to Americans, but we love our news, guys. I mean, we love lajme. Lajme is the Albanian word for news. And whether it is bright and early, or whether it is late, whether it is siesta time, whether you're at school, whether there's no matter what, we are always watching lajme. It's either Turkish telenovelas, Spanish telenovelas, Italian TV, where I'm from, or lajme. And guys, the most valuable thing in your household is the privilege to hold the telecommanda, which is your TV remote. Normally, your TV remote belongs to the head of the family, which is your father, who is your father, and it's a high privilege. Because You could beg for that telecomanda for the rest of your day and you probably would not get hold of it, okay? So you got to do what you got to do. I think that was it. Fun facts. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on, and you would probably quite literally like stay with me forever listening, because sometimes when I think about these fun facts, even though it's only been 5 years, it truly it gives me so much joy. I mean, these are things that when I tell other people, when I tell Americans, when I tell Europeans, when I tell people that don't have a glimpse of my culture, it it helps me understand myself a little bit too. And I always giggle. I always I'll always text my sister or my brother or my mom, and I'll be like, "Wow, we really did that." Or like, "Do we still do that in Albania?" And my mom is always like annoyed, like, "Lydia, it's literally been 5 years." Or my sister will be like, "Girl, stop! Like, stop pretending." But truly, I find so much joy, and I know we're giggling, but these are the things that truly made my life what it was. And I mean, my childhood was very happy. My childhood was, we did not understand the lack of things in Albania growing up, because we had an abundance of things that the Western culture does not have. So you kind of had to, it's, it's, you every world has its negatives and positives, right? Um, but yeah, truly these fun facts, they give me a laugh. Because it's the better part of life of Albania, and what makes it unique, and what gives its character. Um, on a more personal note, um, and a little bit about me for everyone who doesn't know me. I was born and raised in a northern city in Albania that is called Shkodër. Um, it is a city that is known, and I believe will always be known, um, for its art and for its fine taste in enjoying life. I mean, I know Italians and like the French have like their fine culinary skills, and they have their Riviera, and they have their, but I believe in Shkodër we had like our fine taste in food and music and art and everything that is beautiful. I am proud to be from that city. I was born in a Christian family, um, to amazing parents who were very hardworking and did the best that they could in the time when I was born, which was kind of insane. Um, I have 3 siblings, 2 beautiful sisters, and one lovely brother. I mean, he is everything and more. Fun fact for you. In Albania, if you are the third sister, like I am, and of course, the man, the king of the family, the one that bears the last name, is born after you, you are called Kam Shechere in my dialect, which quite literally means sugarfoot or sweetfoot. And guys, we do not mess around. If you are the sugarfoot, your feet will go in a big sack of sugar when your brother is born. I have documentation. I have pictures of this moment from my life, which I will not be showing to the public. But I truly have a picture of me and my family and with my feet in the sugar sack. And I find so much joy and laughter from that moment. And I think it's beautiful that we truly, like my family, kept these traditions alive. But that's just, I enjoy that. That's hilarious. But yes, I am the third sister of the family. Um, I had a very common upbringing. My life was surrounded around academia, which is most likely, which is the case for most, I would say, people in my hometown in Albania. My father was an amazing man. I mean, he was a man of many talents. Um, he was an artist, he was a photographer, he was an engineer, he was a mechanic. Like he was all of it. My mother was a very devoted teacher. We were heavily involved in the church, which I remember very fondly and vividly. We had Sunday school. We went at 10 a.m. It was this Sunday morning service that we looked forward to literally all week. We were always late, because we were the big family. We were the Luffy family. Um, but my father was, I, I remember him being so joyful on Sundays. My mother too, but specifically my dad, like he was truly the image bearer of who God was in my life. And I say this because I truly want to bring this part of my life into the podcast. Christ is the center of my life, and it hasn't always been like that. But the last 2 years of my life my life has been a roller coaster, and I would not have it any differently. But God has really taken care of me, and He truly has surprised me with everything that has happened in my life and the way that He's used my experiences. Christ is a big part of my life. It is the center of my life. And I think in this journey, it's very important for you guys to know why I think the things that I do and how Jesus kind of like fits into all the boxes of my life. And not only fits into them, but He is the one that created the image that is my life. And it's going to come out in all the topics, in the views, in the way that I talk about my life. And I'm sure when I have guests in the podcast, like it will come out. He's truly the reason behind all the desire to speak about things in life. And he's the one who's kind of like always pushed me forward and given me the best ideas. Like truly the things that have the best ideas that have been in my life have been because of him, and have come through, have come to pass because of him. And one of these things will be this podcast. This podcast will kind of have its own pace. I don't want it to be a constricted conversation, and I don't want it to be a scripted conversation either. I've always had certain topics that have been in my heart to speak on, to invite people over to my house and talk about topics that I share with coworkers or people that I meet at church or strangers that I meet at my favorite cafes or people that I've met at bars, um, or at grocery stores. I mean, I'm a little bit of an extrovert, if you can't tell, and I think this is where it all kind of comes together. Um, and I truly don't know what the cadence will be. I'm hoping with everything that's going in my life that it will be a bi-weekly conversation. I hope I hope and pray that you take with a grain of salt everything that comes out of my mouth, and I hope that it only serves to build and not destroy. And I have a tattoo that says I can't take a joke. Please be easy on me with the jokes, with the comments. No, I'm joking. I truly have thick skin. I mean, I am an Albanian. Um, but no, I want us to be positive. I want us to be building each other instead of tearing each other down. And I hope that this podcast will serve well in its role to do so in the world. Okay, I'm bad at the outros and intros, but please tell your friends, tell your family about the podcast. If you liked it and if you enjoyed it, and if you would like to talk more about things, if you have ideas, I would love, love, love truly to hear from you and to have those ideas to bring them to the table. If you want to know more about my life, please feel free to ask. I'm an open book. I would love to tell you guys more. Um, if you're Albanian, I love you especially and dearly. And if you're not Albanian, I love you too. I truly do. So many blessings, peace, and love. Ciao. Until next time.